Thailand and Cambodia signed ceasefire agreement. Beijing announces dates for National People's Congress and CPPCC sessions. And Zelensky prepares to meet Donald Trump for talks on peace deal with Russia. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Thailand and Cambodia have signed a joint statement at a checkpoint on their border on the second ceasefire, effective from 12 p.m. local time, that will be monitored for 72 hours. This comes after 3 days of lower-level talks aimed at ending minor cross-border violence earlier this month. The agreement has urged the two sides to adhere to international agreements against deploying landmines and work to suppress transnational crimes. Danny Zhou reports.
The deal was struck by senior officials from the two countries during the third Special General Border Committee meeting held in Thailand's Chanthaburi province Saturday morning. Thai Defence Minister Nattapon Nokpani, the Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Tia Sehau were present. In addition to ending fighting, the two sides agreed to maintain current troop deployments without further reinforcement, and that no movements or patrols will be conducted towards the other side's positions. Thailand will consider a ceasefire only when all hostilities are clearly observed based on actual behavior and action on the ground, officials said. The deal also calls for Thailand, after the ceasefire is fully implemented, to repatriate 18 Cambodian soldiers detained since earlier conflict in July.
The most important point in this joint statement is that both sides shall maintain their current troop levels in the area, with no movement or reinforcement towards one another, and no renewed attacks or provocations. The ceasefire will be monitored and observed for 72 hours to confirm that it is real and continuous.
To achieve lasting peace, the Cambodian Defence Ministry said both sides have agreed to refer to the Joint Boundary Commission to resume the survey and demarcation work based on existing agreements. Cambodia's top diplomat Prak Sokhonn and his Thai counterpart Sihasak Pongkiku will meet with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Yunnan province on Sunday and Monday for talks on the border situation. Over 100 civilians have been killed in the Thailand-Cambodia border clashes that reignited on December the 7th, with both sides accusing each other of initiating the attack. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
The two sessions, the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, will commence in Beijing on March 4th and 5th next year. China's top legislature, the National People's Congress, will review the draft of the 15th five-year plan. The National People's Congress Standing Committee passed a decision in the morning, approving to convene the 4th annual session of the 14th National People's Congress. The meeting will be held in Beijing on March 5th next year, and the proposed agenda includes deliberating the government work report and reviewing the draft of the 15th five-year plan for national economic and social development. Sarah Lee, the sole Hong Kong deputy of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, says the highlight is a draft 15th five-year plan because in the next 5 years the entire country, including Hong Kong, will implement the blueprint accordingly. She says the country has stressed that the 15th five-year plan will support Hong Kong to consolidate its role as an international finance, shipping and trade center and integrate into the overall development of the country. President of the Legislative Council, Andrew Leung, says on the radio program that President Xi Jinping has instructed Hong Kong to take the initiative to align with the national 15th five-year plan. He says these are the exam topics issued by Beijing to Hong Kong, presenting a golden opportunity for Hong Kong to reach a higher level in development with the country's support. The National People's Congress will also review the draft of the Environment Code, the draft law on promoting ethnic unity and progress, and the draft law on national development planning. In addition, the 14th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference also held a chairperson's council meeting earlier and approved the 4th session of the 14th National Committee of the top political advisory body to be held in Beijing on March 4th next year. A truck toppled over in the Cheung Kwan O Lambton Tunnel this afternoon. The police received a report at about 1 p.m. The lane towards Cheung Kwan O remains closed after the incident. Sources say the driver is an imported worker who holds a Hong Kong driving license. and passed a breathalyzer test. The truck overturned on its right side. The front of the vehicle was severely damaged. The walls of the tunnel also showed impacts from the crash. The 53-year-old driver managed to climb out on his own. He sustained head injuries and was taken to United Christian Hospital for treatment. New public hospital service fees are set to take effect next Thursday. The hospital authority expressed confidence the fee adjustment will be implemented smoothly, as all system tests have been completed. Samantha Lee has more.
Beginning on New Year's Day, the hospital authority will raise fees and charges at public hospitals. A&E department will charge a standard fee of $400, except for patients in critical or emergency conditions, who will receive free treatment. For medications, those visiting specialist outpatient clinics will have to pay $20 for a full-week medicine supply, while patients at family medicine clinics need to pay $5. The hospital authority said it has prepared for the changes. Speaking on a radio show, the hospital authority's director of cluster services, Wang Yu-chung, said more than 1,000 service ambassadors will be deployed at different hospitals, clinics or pharmacies during the initial phase to assist patients. Residents facing financial hardship when settling the charges can apply for full or partial fee waivers. Chief Manager of the Hospital Authority, Priscilla Poon, said at least 50,000 applications have been received for patients with appointments in January and February. She said the number is within expectations and gave assurance those eligible for the waiver will get a certificate before their appointments. The health officials also urged the public not to flock to A&E wards at the last moment on New Year's Eve before the new charges take effect. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
2 more people were apprehended at the Shenzhen Bay port yesterday in connection with a murder case in Hengshui back in August. The total number of arrests related to that case rose to 27. In the afternoon, police escorted one of the suspects to the scene of the alleged attack on Yekyun Road to reenact the case. A mannequin was used to simulate the murdered 51-year-old man. The suspect could be seen pulling the dummy out of the car and dragged it to the ground. The 2 men rounded up yesterday were aged 29 and 32. Among the 23 men and 4 women arrested so far, 11 were provincially charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, assisting criminals and perverting the course of justice. 14 have been released on bail pending further investigation. Cross-border grocery shopping has become increasingly common, with more Hong Kong residents ordering fresh fruit from the mainland. But some doctors warn that careless consumption could lead to illness. Local retailers say online shopping has taken a heavy toll on business, a trend now spreading to fruit and vegetables vendors. This vendor says business has dropped by at least half. On mainland online platforms, a wide range of fresh fruit can be delivered straight to Hong Kong. 2 caddies of oranges sell for as little as $30. Family doctor Lam Wing-Wall warns that food safety risks should not be underestimated. He says contamination can occur before packaging, and fresh produce is especially vulnerable. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Friday that he will meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in America over the weekend. This as Washington bids to broker peace in the Russia-Ukraine war. However, on the ground, Russia attacked Ukraine's capital Kyiv with missiles and drones early Saturday morning, wounding at least 11 people. Danny Rao tells us more.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he will meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in Florida over the weekend for further talks on ending the Russia-Ukraine war. Zelensky told journalists the 2 leaders will discuss security guarantees for Ukraine during Sunday's talks, and the 20-point plan under discussion is about 90% ready. An economic agreement will also be discussed, Zelensky said, but he was unable to confirm whether anything will be finalized by the end. He said the Ukrainian side will also raise territorial issues. Zelensky said Ukraine would like the Europeans to be involved, but doubted whether it would be possible at short notice. The announced meeting is the latest development in an extensive US-led diplomatic push to end the nearly 4-year Russia-Ukraine war. But efforts have run into sharply conflicting demands by Moscow and Kyiv. Zelensky's comments came after he said Thursday he had a good conversation with US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters the Kremlin had already been in contact with U.S. representatives since Russian presidential envoy Kirill Dmitriev recently met with U.S. envoys in Florida. Peskov said it was agreed upon to continue the dialogue. Zelensky said Tuesday he would be willing to withdraw troops from Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland as part of a plan to end the war, if Russia also pulls back and the area becomes a demilitarized zone monitored by international forces. Though Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said there had been slow but steady progress in the peace talks, Russia has given no indication it will agree to any kind of withdrawal from land it has seized. In fact, Moscow has insisted Ukraine relinquish the remaining territory it still holds in the Donbass, an ultimatum Ukraine has rejected. Russia has captured most of Luhansk and about 70% of Donetsk, the two areas that make up the Donbass. On the ground, Russia attacked Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, with missiles and drones early Saturday morning, wounding at least 11 people. Explosions boomed across the capital for hours as ballistic missiles and drones hit the city. Dan Raul, TV News.
And still ahead, one of Time magazine's Girls of the Year explains her passion for promoting science to young people. A major winter storm is dumping heavy snow and treacherous ice on parts of the northeast of the United States. It is set to bring the most snow to New York City in nearly 4 years. New York State and New Jersey are under state of emergencies as heavy snow brought icy and slippery road conditions and greatly reduced visibility on Friday, making travel extremely dangerous. The snow began reaching New York City around 5 p.m. Friday and will continue until Saturday. New York City is forecast to get about 7 inches of snow, the most snow in nearly 4 years. Relevant state governments encourage residents to monitor local forecasts and avoid unnecessary travel. The storm is also impacting flights. Nearly 1,200 U.S. flights scheduled for Friday were canceled. A 15-year-old local girl is proving that age is no barrier to impact. Valerie Chu has previously been named one of Time magazine's inaugural Girls of the Year, which recognizes 10 young leaders inspiring communities around the world. She told TVB News about her determination to share her love for science with young people, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds. In a classroom abuzz with young minds, one Hong Kong girl is sparking a love for science that knows no borders. 15-year-old Valerie Chu has turned curiosity and passion into her mission to make science fun, accessible, and empowering.
I like science a lot, but I didn't know that much about it, so now I know more. Here you get to sit with your friends and kind of experiment and not be told what to do every single second.
At just 12 years old, Valerie founded Teen Animals That Scientists, bringing together teenagers to provide science fairs, workshops, and exchange programs.
Some participants even get inspired. They join our team, do some actions in their daily life, and even share our initiative with their family and friends.
Her initiative also connects youth beyond Hong Kong from over 10 countries, including Ghana, India, and Pakistan. Named one of the 10 Girls of the Year by Time magazine, who are said to be shaping the future and turning imagination into real-world impact, Valerie, still a student at St. Mary's Canossian College, says she hopes to inspire a wider movement of youth-led science education.
This allows the participants to understand that even though they are maybe pretty young or they might not come from a very good background, they can all make an impact.
Valerie's still a student, but what she's done just as a student has been amazing. We love participating and collaborating with other NGOs for initiatives that help drive education and help drive leaders in subjects like shark and ocean conservation.
Valerie also published this magazine in July, introducing various scientific theories in ways that pique interest of teenagers. 1 Year in the Making is also curated alongside several other teenage advocates from around the world. Other honorees aged between 12 and 17 include a Japanese skateboarding Olympic gold medalist, German scientist, and Mexican racing driver. Amidst a decline in business under a changing era, a century-old umbrella shop in Shamshui-po with roots tracing back to the Qing dynasty will close its doors by the end of the year. Some local residents visited the shop to bid farewell. Secretary Ed has more.
Yao Yuwai is known as the king of umbrellas. The 70-year-old master is meticulous about every detail of the craft, including the proper way to open and close an umbrella. He's the 5th generation of this family business, which dates back to the Qing dynasty. Initially a shop selling daily necessities in Guangzhou, Yao pivoted to focus exclusively on umbrellas, establishing his store in Shamshui-Po for over 40 years. His business has won the affection of the local community, offering a range of quality umbrellas priced from 60 to over 100 Hong Kong dollars, as well as attracting expatriates.
I like collecting umbrellas. I think I might give this one to my dad. We come from a place that has a lot of monsoons.
Yao has been repairing umbrellas since his primary school days, having rescued over 10,000 umbrellas. One of Yao's most memorable experiences involved an elderly couple who brought an umbrella for repair, which they had used during their courtship. It was not an easy task, as Yao had no access to the original materials. When he successfully repaired it, he chose not to charge them, feeling deeply touched by their story. Yao said umbrellas were kind of a luxury product in the 50s. It cost a couple days of salaries. It could also be taken to the pawn shop for mortgage at a time. Today, some umbrella buyers have turned to online shopping from the mainland, where prices can start from just a few dollars. Facing a declined business, Yao reluctantly decided to retire. As one of Hong Kong's last remaining umbrella masters, he finds that the new generation is uninterested in acquiring his skills. In the final days of the store, Yao is grateful that customers came to pay tribute one last time. Sakarib, TVB News.
One of the 4 experimental mice previously sent into space on China's Shenzhou 21 manned spacecraft gave birth to 9 pups after returning to Earth. 6 survived. These 6 newborns came into the world on December 10th. Their parents successfully mated after their return from space. 6 of the 9 mouse pups have survived. Wang Hongmei, a researcher at the Institute of Zoology of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, said the mother of the cubs appeared to be vigilant in nurturing her babies. She believes the Shenzhou 21 cruise spaceship ran out of food due to the delayed return. The research team used soy milk as emergency food for the mice. Meanwhile, the authorities also released the cartoon versions and Chinese names of the 4 space mice. And that's the news. The news roundup is at 10 past midnight tonight. Thank you for watching.